Francesco Bonfiglio, and he's the CEO of the Dynamo, and he's a person that is fighting literally currently for another kind of independence of Europe. And he has a very interesting presentation about sovereignty, and we discussed about sovereignty nowadays during the election times, and we will still discuss, but Francesco is going to present us his vision for sovereignty of Europe. Thank you, Francesco.
Thank you, Hugo, and thanks to all the esteemed guests. Thank you for having me. I have a big challenge. First of all, I need to speak in English. I can speak Italian if you want, maybe you understand better. And the second challenge is that I'm between you and the lunch. So I will try to say something interesting. First of all, I will not talk about resilienza cibernetica, but I will talk instead about resilienza economica, if that's the right Romanian pronunciation. So I don't know if I can switch slides by myself. Yes. So let's start easy. A moment of silence for Europe digital future. So I think you have read all these things. You know what Mario Draghi tried to do. You know what America is threatening us. And on and on and on. Last but not least, himself. So all these things tell us something as European, and that's what I wanted to talk to you today. What has happened in Europe? What have we done? So lots of initiatives. We met, Hugo and me, when I was the CEO of GaiaX, but then we had the European Alliance for Industrial Data, Edge and Cloud, and then we had the Digital Compass and the Digital Europe program, and a lot of other projects that I don't know if you have heard about, but I tell you that are burning billions. Billions. Do you know all of them? Or is the last one? Raise your hand. How many of you have heard about 2 or 3 of them? How many of you know all of them or heard about all of them? Well, the question is, do we know them all? Because this is what Europe is doing to regain digital sovereignty. I'm part of Europe. You're part of Europe. I'm European, first of all. What is the business outcome of all these initiatives? Let's be honest. Do you see the European market growing in terms of European offering? Do you see the market share of European suppliers growing? No. So some people say, we are not investing enough money. Well, I tried to understand how much money Europe is spending. And I've been in this type of business for more than 5 years. So I've been working with the European Commission, I work with the members of the Parliament, I work with the governments. Believe me, it is very difficult. So we have the Digital Europe program, 9 billion, so roughly speaking. The multi-annual financial framework, the MFF, is talking about 2 trillion, a big portion of which goes in digital, but then we have the IPSAI CIS, I don't know how many of you know, it's another 2.5 billion. And then we have the Next Generation EU, and then and on and on and on. So lots of money. So I found this report which talks about the MFF, the multi-annual financial framework, 21-27. So roughly speaking, it's difficult even here to tell how much money we're spending. Roughly speaking, we're talking about 200 billion. Is it a lot or not? Some people say, no, because Americans invest trillions, so we need more and more. Well, look, I'm an engineer. How many engineers in the room? Okay, I'm glad. So I've been grown up, because I've been 35 years plus in the business, making calculations. So 200 billion euro is an equivalent of 200,000 FTEs for 10 years. Do we have to build the space shuttle or what? Where have all this money gone? This is the question. We as Europeans should start asking our institutions. This is our taxpayer money, by the way. It's not coming from planet Mars. So, having said that, people say, yes, but. No, European is a population of yes, butters. We miss can-doers. Oh, we need more regulation. Yes, because in this way we can block the hyperscalers. No, hyper-regulation made Europe weak. And let me say, deregulation, unfortunately, made US suppliers strong. When we started in 2016 talking about the GDPR, we closed the fences when the cows have gone. So unfortunately, they were already in the market. Some others say we need more investment. Of course, money is never enough. But where are we spending the money? We are spending 100% of the money in pre-competitive research and development, not in services and products that can change the market. Some others say, yes, we need open source because it's fantastic, it's free, open, and democratic. I'm a big fan of it. Well, it's great, but if you don't build a product around open source, you don't make money, period. And the best solutions in the market are not open source, like it or not. And somebody say, yes, we need to create interoperability across infrastructure, across multiple cloud service providers. Well, yes, I have been leading data centers, I have been working for consultants, I have been leading cloud service providers. I tell you one big news. CIOs and customers don't buy infrastructure, they buy business solutions more and more. So we better be careful building some real alternative in Europe. So the problem is this. The demand is there, but the demand is clear. It's growing, it's the most profitable business, digital is the most profitable business in the world now. It's growing 2-digit, 20% year over year. But the demand doesn't want lock-in, wants a distributed, protected, of course, resilient type of solution, sustainable. The adoption of cloud service is very low. Despite whatever people say, it's still below 50%. That means 10 companies, 5 of them in Europe use cloud, whatever that is. Other 5 don't. And if I tell you more, this is EuroStack data. Those 5 companies, 85% of the cloud they use, you know what it is? File sharing, emailing, and collaboration. Name it Microsoft Office 365 if you want. So that's all the cloud we use. We are not using the cloud. We are not using digital. We are not even using AI, and AI is surpassing us in the meanwhile we're thinking about how to use it. But the market is growing, 413 billions by 2029, 2030. It's huge. It's the fastest growing market. Look at the supply. We have 3 types of actions. The American hyperscalers, yeah, they're strong, fantastic, but they are not considered reliable. They produce lock-in, and they don't have proximity. They do not live in Romania. They don't live in Bucharest. They don't live in Milan, okay? And they sell everything through a partner channel. It's indirect. On the other side, we have the European cloud service providers. They are small. Yeah, they say, oh, we are small. Yes, they are smaller individually, but they are very close to their customers. And then we have the European projects, the so-called European publicly funded projects that are not acting in the market, so they are not solving the problem in the market. This is interesting. The market demand is growing 20% year over year. It's incredible. So the revenues are increasing, but the market share of the European cloud service providers is dropping down 10 to 15% year over year. You know what this produces? The perception by some cloud service providers or digital service providers that this is not true. Our business is growing because in absolute value, I see the revenue is increasing, but you're losing customers and deals. So this is what I call the boiling frog effect. So you believe your business is still alive and still growing, but when you will lose the customers, you will drop down. This drop-down point is by 2030. Again, this is statistical data. So the market share of European cloud service providers altogether from 2017 to now has dropped down from 27% to 10%. So you draw the line, 2030 goes to 0. So it's a real problem. On the one side, we have the biggest growing demand in the market ever. On the other side, we don't have offering. The problem is in the market. It's not a technology problem. So what is the real problem? The customer wants want business solutions. They don't want technology. They don't buy technology anymore, and with AI, even less in the future. They want skills. I heard about it. I mean, I didn't understand everything, but everybody's talking about skills. Yes, because we need skills. Think about why we don't have skills on European platforms. Because we don't have interoperable common standards. So the system integrators need to develop certifications and trainings on what? They have 3 types of certification: AWS, Microsoft, and Google. That's it. VMware, whatever. And also they want a one-stop shop where they find all they need. They cannot go around and beg in 27 countries 100 of solutions to build. They can't. The provider need is customers. I mean, everybody can buy servers or build data centers. The only thing they cannot buy is new customers. They need resellers because they need to be seen and visible across the market. And of course, they need partners that help providing the skills to the end customers. So the key pitfalls, and what I keep preaching against, is European providers are too small, they cannot make. We lost the war. Yes, individually, every provider in Europe is too small, but not together. Another pitfall is European investments are too little. Yeah, we need trillions. What for? I say, yeah, money is never enough, but we need to start spending the money in the right direction. Otherwise, you can put whatever amount of money, you will never achieve any result. And the third key pitfall is that European regulation is too complex. Yes, it is. We need to turn it into an advantage, because nowadays we have a clash. The regulation is so complicated that it becomes a barrier, an entrance barrier for most of the providers. That's why we have such a business for, GRC and compliance, etc. So we have created a business to demonstrate that we are compliant. I think it's a paradox. Anyway, what are the real alternatives? On the one side, hyperscalers. They are strong on one side, but they also have weaknesses. On the other side, European cloud service providers. They are strong on one side, but they have weaknesses. And on the other side, we have the European projects, which are making a lot of advocacy, but they are not producing effects in the market. Now, look at the hyperscalers, or the big techs, and the European cloud service provider. Interestingly enough, the strengths of the ones are the weaknesses of the other. The strengths of the European are the controllability, the client proximity, distribution, jurisdiction control, open standards. The American have these kind of characteristics in their weaknesses. So, another interesting thing is this. I asked Claude, can you tell me what are the best sellers of the big techs, and can you tell me who in Europe provides alternative solutions? This is an interesting table. You can do it yourself. So you see one interesting data. There is no single name in Europe that can provide them all. Take the first 3, 4, 5 offerings. But if you put together 2 or 3 of them, they are even bigger. So we need to create a commercial federation across European providers. And I'm not talking just big ones. I'm not talking just infrastructure. Not at all. All the European providers of digital solutions should understand that nowadays we need a cooperative model, first of all, to grow the market and increase it for all. That's what we do at Dynamo, which is what I started after GaiaX. GaiaX was an association, Dynamo is a company, but I'm also working, and I worked also with the Romanian government before the elections. I use the plural intentionally to make it happen. What is Dynamo? It's a way to leverage on what we have. Don't try to invent the wheel. We have a lot of stuff, thousands of companies. I was in GITEX in Berlin last week. Thousands, 1,400 companies. I don't know them. I will be in Paris, in Vivatech, next week, I think. 14,000 companies. This is the problem and the beauty of Europe. We have the largest ecosystem of innovation and technology, but nobody knows that. Come on. It's incredibly big. Second, we need to create a one-stop place for European solutions. You know what I want to do? I want to do the Amazon all sales of European digital solutions only. Easy. I go there and I buy all I need because I find everything. We don't have it. Third, it's a B2B operator-to-operator platform. In other words, everyone joining Dynamo can resell the solutions provided by the other joiners. It becomes a big virtual partner network where everybody can resell each other, and the platform automates everything, like in a single virtual company. In fact, we call it a cloud virtual single provider. Instead of making a big merger and acquisition, let's create all the mechanisms that allow multiple legal entities to collaborate, resell each other, provision the services, integrate into all the cloud management platforms and all the provisioning platforms of everybody. Nobody did that because, okay, why should I spend my money to do it for others? We did it, and now we are onboarding. And the platform is open to European only, and is open also to capital to Europeans that want to join, because this has to become an ecosystem platform. So it's a commercial federation, it's open to European providers only, it's a true marketplace, it acts like a virtual cloud service provider, so a virtual merger. It automates all the processes from onboarding to qualification to the European regulation, to the order to cash, to the provisioning, the billing invoice, everything, the metering. It does it for you all. So we are open, everybody can join for free, and the business model is easy. You sell through the platform. If you sell, you leave a transaction fee to sustain the platform. That's it. Platform doesn't sell, platform doesn't get money. But if it works, it's a snowball. Everybody will take advantage out of it. What it gives is credibility and visibility, even to smaller companies that are they cannot reach territories, so they can reach new territories. They can enrich their offering, and of course they can become more innovative, invest in innovation, and can reduce the cost on compliance. There is multiple layers of interoperabilities. People talk about technology interoperability. It's not the only one. You need to have contractual interoperability. You need to have geographic interoperability. You need to have service composition. You need to have compliance interoperability. So Dynamo provides all these levels of interoperability to make, let me say, the beauty of the fragmented European ecosystem look like united. And we need a big European brand of digital. You can think about Europe. What is the biggest brand of cars? You can name Porsche, you can name Mercedes. Fiat, thank you. What is the biggest brand of technology? Let's be honest. It's a shame. Do we have one? No. What? Okay. So we need to build a one-stop place. We need to create interoperability. We need to create an ecosystem. This is the simple use case. I don't get into technical details. But imagine you have users, your customer A, you're a provider. The customer asks you for production of Wintel, a Kubernetes environment, a high-performance computer, a disaster recovery, whatever. You have some of them, of course. You don't have others. So either way, you lose the deal, or you engage with a system integrator, which probably will engage with a big tech because they have them all. With Dynamo, you can sell, for example, the HPC that comes from your partner vendor B, and the other way around. It's a simple, common catalog of services everybody can leverage. The increase in sales is evident because it's an indirect sales channel. Hyperscalers, they sell 100% indirectly. European, they sell 90%, in the best case, locally. That's why the biggest French cloud service provider is almost unknown outside of France, or the biggest German is almost unknown out of Germany. I'm talking about Ionos or OVH. I give you names, or Aruba in Italy. Why don't we start reselling European? So what I'm talking about is not just ideas, it's a real thing. We developed this platform from scratch. In 1 year, we open it to all, and we already have a list of partners. We have more than 15 companies that already signed the agreement to join the platform. We are in the onboarding phase, and we have a pipeline of, almost 100 companies. And the reason I'm traveling here is not just that I like Romania, because I'm traveling to tell that we have a one-stop place to welcome everybody. It's a hard job. So if you're interested, reach out, and we are open to onboard. But this is not a one-off. This is one of those examples. That's why I left GaiaX, because I believe the industry should start to speak vocal aloud and say what we need. We cannot expect institutions to solve the problem of the industry. They don't make profit and loss. So Dynamo is creating this commercial federation. SECA, which is another initiative which Dynamo is part of, IONOS in Germany, Aruba in Italy, and many others that are joining, is creating a common API set to make all the their cloud provisioning platforms, but anybody else, so PaaS, SaaS, whatever, compatible. It's a one key for all digital solutions in Europe. EuroStack, I'm also one of the authors of the EuroStack, is a movement that is clearly asking for a change. So we need to start taking care of our market, we need to federate, we need to stop hyper-regulating. So we need to do a series of things that we wrote into this paper, and again, it's open initiatives, open to all, starting from the market, bottom up, no more top down. Together we stand, divided we fall. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Francesco. So listen, is it me that I'm seeing here a business opportunity for Romanian companies and Romanian end users to join this federation that is constantly growing? And my understanding is that I can easily sell products if I have something to sell, for instance, to the French market or German market. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I like of Eastern Europe, it's not just Romania, but you can imagine, before this panel I was talking with a Ukrainian association that is being born exactly by CSP that said, oh, we need to do something. Institutions are not listening to us. I said, okay, and they came to me because I understand you're doing the same, we want to be part of it. Why I like Romania? You, Moldova, and other countries have some of the best scholarship and skills in IT. And skills is everything. You have some of the best products in the world, best of breed in cybersecurity. Maybe this is because of your geographical proximity to some bad boys, but that doesn't matter. You know, every time IONOS, which is the biggest, just to make an example, cloud service provider in Europe, 4 billion revenues turnaround, 8 billion capitalization, sells something. First of all, they sell mainly in Germany. Instead, in this way, they can sell everywhere. Second, their customers want more. So, of course, they want cybersecurity solutions. Where do they find them? Do they think they go around and try to find in Romania? Most of the times, not. They go to Accenture, they go to Capgemini. I see there's some Capgemini friends. And they will suggest the easiest one-stop place to find them all. So, for Romanian companies and the fantastic solutions I saw on stage today, it's an opportunity. Let's put it simple. Nothing to lose, and it's a win-win. You keep selling by yourself, but in this way you can sell more.
Yeah, one more question. George.
I have a question. Do you think that we will have a cloud solution in Europe like Google or Amazon or Azure in the next 10 years?
No, we already have now. This is the point. I've been in the business all my life. I mean, I never saw myself a single case of a customer. Actually, I saw it just once, but this was a very specific one that needed hyperscaling. Let's be honest. 90% of the workloads are not hyperscaling, are not even cloud ready, and for sure are not cloud native. They use a certain amount of database, they use a certain amount of compute resource. Let's be honest. So the reason why we use hyperscalers is not because we need hyperscaling facilities. And we are also slave of the default. Everybody uses Microsoft Office 365. So why should I use Nextcloud or Proton, which are fantastic solutions? Everybody uses AWS. Why should I use IONOS? They are not as big as them. No, we have the technology, we have the resources, we don't have common standards, and we don't have a common marketplace to make, let me say, the procurement easier also for customers. And the interoperability will never happen if you don't create joint business opportunities. But it's not complicated to create interoperability because they don't have proprietary platforms. They use open standards.
And last 30-second question, how are you going to convince the public sector to join these initiatives in Europe in general, not in Romania?
The public sector is very interested in what we're doing for two reasons. One is that, the public sector in terms of customers is very interested because they need to have qualified and trustworthy services. In every country, I don't know in Romania, but I can tell you in Italy, in France, in Germany, more or less they have done the same. So they build a kind of an agency, they build their own standard. In France it's called Secnum Cloud, in Italy it's called ACN, in Germany C5, and they built a website where you find a list of services that have passed through a manual, human-driven kind of qualification process. It's not enough. They want more solution. If you want more solution, you have to simplify the qualification process, and they want to make it simple. Otherwise, you give the money just to the certification authorities and consultants. So public sector is very interested. But interesting enough, the public, the institutions, they are interested because they have also the problem of protecting the European economy. And believe me, digital is not just IT business. Digital is the backbone of every business. There is no bank, insurance, manufacturing plant that will survive if we become slave of non-European, non-controllable platforms, at least. Sooner or later, we will pay the bill.
Francesco Bonfiglio, CEO Dynamo, thank you very much for being with us.